Hi guys, and welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. This is actually episode 66. We got it wrong last week. Last week was 65. So yeah, we were massive liars last week. So I do apologize. So this week we have a special guest. He's currently in the waiting room. We will bring him in very soon. But first of all, we'll do our usual intro. So Reece, how's your week been?
Sound, mate. Week's good. How's your week been?
Fantastic, mate. I'm feeling really good.
Let's get him in.
I told you that I'm going to be. I told you yesterday that I'm going to be amazing next year. Changed my mindset after last week's podcast. After last week's podcast on mentality, I listened to it back. I've been listening to it every day, and I've changed my mentality.
So what? Now you're going to be amazing when you step on stage.
Yeah, I've spoken it into existence. I've written it down, and I think I'm going to win everything. I don't think I am going to win everything.
Did you do like any grounding outside?
Yeah, I did some grounding.
Any like meditation?
Yeah, meditation as well. I did everything. Did everything you need to do.
Do you remember like the things you're grateful for? Because that's an important thing, isn't it?
Every morning, write them down.
Yeah. And then did you do like a consult with anybody to chat through the goals or anything like that?
Yeah, I had one a day with Christian.
Oh, Christian. And then that's what. And then you pretty much now you're ready for the new year.
I'm ready. The reason I said Christian is just because consult with Christian, it just runs off your tongue.
Okay.
This is nothing against Christian.
I don't know, Christian. Does Christian do? I don't think he does consults for mentality, unfortunately.
I don't know. I got asked to do a consult by someone. I won't go through it, but I got asked to do a consult by someone.
Who was it? Like, what did he say?
I just told you I'm not going to go through it. He just asked. Okay. He was like, I want to run through my goals and stuff. Do you do like a one-off consultation? I was like, it's not really something I do, but I can do if you want.
What you said? Like, can you be my soundboard? So he's like coming in 100, like let's say 100 pounds over stage weight. He's like, I want to be a British champion. I've got a 16-week prep.
Yeah, I just say, just speak it into existence, mate.
Yeah,
don't prep, just visualize it, and you'll get it.
Make sure you're grounding and you meditate and you write down every morning. So, friend, what are you grateful for, mate? What did you write down? What are you grateful for? 3 things.
Should we do this in all seriousness?
What do you mean, like?
Well, I didn't write it down, obviously, but I can tell you 3 things I'm grateful for.
Tell me 3 things. Yeah, tell me 3 things that you're grateful for.
I'm grateful for my health.
Okay. I'm not. I'm not healthy.
Yeah, you're gonna die soon. Yeah. I'm grateful for my family. My family are all very nice people and very supportive, and I'm very close with my family, even though I don't see them enough.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the life that I've built myself because I love what I do every day, and it's I think that's pretty cool that I've done that.
Mate, it's a good thing this comes out on Monday because that's like a hashtag motivation Monday.
That is motivation. Actually, we said we'll bring this one out on Thursday.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So, guys, what we're going to be looking at doing is we're trying to get a guest on every week, and we're going to do our episode, just me and Reece, on Mondays. Well, we'll bring it out on a Monday, and then we're going to do the guest episode on a Thursday. So you've got double once you're in content. I was like, double content, on like X Factor when they're like double elimination or something.
Yeah, or like double XP on.
What are you grateful for? 3 things, and then we'll bring in the guest.
Oh, Christ. Mate, I'm awful at stuff like this. I'm grateful, similar to you, the life I've built. Can I copy you? Because I felt that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I'm grateful. Me and Sinai went for a walk today. Went to Bradgate Park after I got my hair cut. We took there. That was nice. So I'm grateful for the outdoors and the ability for me to go for a walk.
Could be anyone, really. Grateful for any female companion, maybe.
Yeah, Sinai could have been replaced by like anybody, for the walk.
Would have been better if it was me, I bet.
Yeah, it would have been a lot better, mate. Would have been a lot better. We both would have been such coaches, just sending form clips. So our bear gets told off for being off the lead because you're not allowed dogs off the lead at a park, but I let him off the lead. And there's deers and stuff, so you had to like shepherd him on because he was like going to the deers and causing a bit.
It's quite nice there.
Have you been before?
Yeah, mate, it's like 5 minutes from me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it is actually. Well, I get my haircut in Anstey, so it's literally 2 minutes down the road.
Maybe 10 minutes. Close.
Yeah. So literally, we went there and just went for a mooch. Got like 7,000 steps done, which was quite nice. And then one other thing I'm grateful for. You know what? It sounds a bit weird, but I'm grateful for my routine in the sense of like I wake up every day. I did my cardio this morning, and I like cracked on my work. And like similar to what you said, like I finished my cardio, and I was like, feel good. Feel like life's good.
I feel like that every day now. Like
I
just love my routine. I think as well a lot of that is not like just from dieting, but I think as well because like when you go in like coming out of a phase, so like obviously the diet phase itself, and I felt like it when I was like going through the diet, but I've been gaining for that long that you just get a bit stale, doesn't it? It's like just monotonous and being the same fat mess all the time. So like now that I'm not as much of a fat mess, and I can sort of, it feels like prep's a lot closer and stuff like that. Like every morning, I'm just like, I feel like I'm flying, mate.
You just get out of bed with a spring.
Today's been a good day as well. Sent out all the hoodies to the team. Hashtag Team FkPhysiques.
Yeah.
When are you going to copy me and do hoodies?
Mate, like I said, I've been sent it too many times, but I'd have to get a hoodie that. This is the thing. Sanaya said, just get them in. They'll wear them. People will wear them. But I would want something that I'd actually want to wear with like.
Mate, the ones I've got are very. I'll bring you one. It's a 3XL that I've got. It'll be tight. It won't be tight on you, but it'll be like normal size.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you it because I want to have it, but you can try it on. Like they're proper good quality.
Okay. Yeah. If you can send me the link, mate, I'll have a look and then I will copy you.
Right. Are we going to bring him in?
Right. Yep. Cool. That's it. Let's bring Qais in.
Have we even said that it's Qais yet? You just ruined. Just ruined the surprise.
Even though
it says his name on the fucking screen now.
Yeah. Is he available? Is he?
I hope so. Oh yes, there he is. Here he is. Right, guys. So we've got. Oh, mate, can't hear you. Talk again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Not like that fraud Josh Croggan who
yeah, Josh sacked it off. So everyone that doesn't know, this is Qais. That's how you're supposed to say his name, or Qais, I think he told us before.
Yes. Or Qais if you're Reece.
Yeah, yes. Qais if you just pronounce it how it's written. But Qais is an easy way of saying it. So Qais is the new men's physique tall UKDFBA champion. I'll get your Instagram up in a minute as well, mate. We'll go through some of the photos. But yeah, Qais, give us a bit of an introduction to yourself.
Yeah, so thank you for the lovely words, Finn. So I'm Qais. So I am a men's physique athlete, a natty one, just in case you're all wondering. So I competed recently in the UKDFBA. So I did the Northern Show in August, was it? Yeah, August. 21st of August, won the overall there, so I was pretty happy about that. Needed more condition though, honestly speaking. I wasn't too best pleased with the package that I brought. And then was just been digging since then for the last 8 weeks. And then took it to the finals. And going into it, my aim, like seeing who was there, my aim was to win their class, because I knew there were a couple of guys in other classes who were pretty much unbeatable. So obviously did win my class in the end, and brought honestly like the best physique I possibly could have brought, to be honest, like for the muscularity I currently have. So yeah, really happy with the season. Obviously off the back of the season I had 3 years ago in 2019, my first competitive season, when I got to finals but didn't place just because didn't have the muscle. So as you can see, that's my Instagram profile.
This is Qais' Instagram, so Qais_but. Everybody go and follow him. So this is from the other day, isn't it? This is when you won.
That is the final, yeah.
That's the post that today.
I literally posted it like couple of hours ago.
So run us through this.
Yes, so that first pic was taken September 2021. So that was after a 2-year sort of gaining phase from 2019. We knew I had the shape for men's physique to do well, but I was just lacking muscularity pretty much everywhere. I know my arms and delts were decent, but I just got out-muscled by a lot of guys who obviously had more years training than me. So that 2 years between 2019 and 2021 was vast majority spent in a surplus. So I went from, I think, about 157 on stage to 204. So nearly 50 pounds of body weight gain there.
Obviously, you didn't fancy the Finn Kelly 70 pounds of weight gain.
Didn't fancy the extra 20 on that.
Yeah, I did want it enough.
Obviously not, mate.
He didn't.
But as you can see, obviously it's not the prettiest physique, but it is what it is. It's what's required. And from that point, I did a sort of like an 8-week, quite aggressive diet. I think I lost about 30 pounds or so from there, and then gained a bit more before the prep. So I think it was about 10 pounds lighter than that photo when I started my prep in April. So then yeah, from there, 21 weeks until the first show. We knew I wasn't going to be like 100% shredded for that show, because that's what we did last time in 2019. Because obviously my main goal was just to see, like, do my best for the first show, because I didn't know how good I could potentially be. And then I ended up like over dieting and like, yeah, looking stringy at finals. So wanted to sort of leave a few pounds. I think between the qualifier and the finals this year, I think I was about 5 pounds lighter. I think it was probably about 3 or 4 pounds of fat, and then I came in a decent amount drier though. So I think between one day out and the day of the show, I lost like 2 pounds, and that was just
lost 2 pounds of muscle in one day.
No, yeah, basically, yeah, just straight off the delts.
Yeah. So, for people just listening on Spotify, if you want to see, we're on Qais, not Qais. We're on Qais' Instagram now. So if you want to see that, go onto YouTube and make sure you watch it on YouTube, and make sure you like and subscribe as well. And also, while I'm saying that, if you haven't already rated the podcast, please rate the podcast on Spotify, because I think we're getting close to 200 reviews. So thank you for everyone that has done it.
I actually just rated it before this, so
you've not rated, mate. You're supposed to be a fantastic listener. You've only just done.
I just never got down to it, but 5-star review, mate. So
yeah, thanks. Imagine if he was like 3-star review.
Hey, somebody has given us something low, because we're on 4.9. So somebody's not given, but then surely just because one person's not giving us 5 doesn't mean we won't have 5-star. Like that's not fair.
I think, well, it does it based on an average, doesn't it? So maybe if someone's given like a 0-star, then it'll drag it down that much. It's gone to
surely no one's done that. If someone's done that, they're just a massive hater.
Yeah,
we're on 173 ratings. So if there's 27 of you out there that hasn't done it by now, between now and next time we do the podcast, please do give us a rating. And also, I think you can follow. Yeah, you can follow the podcast as well. So follow us on
notified when we release it.
Yeah, you can get notified as well.
Yeah, that's what it is. Right. So we've got a few questions. So first one, mate, I said this to Finn. How'd it feel getting absolutely smoked by Joven in the overall? Like, he absolutely did you.
He did.
Honestly, mate, I'm joking. I wasn't there, but Finn said it wasn't like he didn't wipe the floor.
The standard of the whole overall was really good. Even the Masters guy was good.
Honestly, like going into it, I was like really, really happy I won the tall class. Yeah. Like that was my goal going into the day, was to win the tall class, and I was feeling confident throughout the day. I knew I was on. Honestly speaking, without being arrogant, I knew I was better than everyone else in the tall class, other than the guy who showed up on the day. So this was the German guy.
Yeah, he came out of the blue
in second. I didn't. Yeah, obviously they invite these international athletes, so you don't really know they're going to compete until they show up on the day.
He's quite blocky though. Like, didn't have the same men's physique shape that you had.
Yeah, so you do the thing which you do, and if someone says they don't do it, they're lying. You look up the names on Instagram just to see like what your competition looks like, just out of interest.
So I've got blinkers on.
You're in athlete mode.
Yeah, I'm an athlete mode. I don't care about anybody else. I'm focused on myself. It's UVU. I even see you put that on a caption saying it's UVU.
Yeah, you shouldn't be shoulders, mate.
It's all being exposed. They get exposed here, mate.
But yeah, you sort of just keep an eye out, and he looked really good on Instagram. Very full, very bubbly, especially his chest, which is a lot better than mine. But it's hard to tell because obviously with Instagram you can sort of get angles and all that sort of thing. And so once I won the tall class, that was kind of like what I wanted to achieve. Everyone on the day was saying it's going to be Joven and Josh Atis for the overall. They're just absolute freaks, absolutely incredible.
Who did you think was going to win out of them two?
I thought Josh was going to win.
I thought, because I saw Josh the day before at the PCA Expo, like finals, whatever, and he won the whole pro show. And he beat that Ike dude who beat him the following a couple of days ago, and I didn't look like Josh won, and it was like I knew instantly when he walked out, I was like, Josh won this. Like they're going to give it to him. Josh looks fucking on. So the fact that then he turns up and then gets beat by Joven, and I saw Joven at the qualifier. Joven's ridiculous.
We'll get Joven on the podcast. Hopefully.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, he's a really sound. I was speaking
proper sound.
Really sound guy. It's hard because I think they both have the strengths. I think if you're saying who's more men's physique, I'd maybe say Josh, just in terms of the shape and the round.
I know what you mean, but Josh is quite petite, like which you could argue is men's physique, but then Joven's like so wide and he's still got narrow waist.
Even the way he hits his poses, I feel like Josh is more men's physique. I think Joven could maybe work on his poses.
He's so new to it, isn't he? That
100%. But where I think Joven really like pulled ahead was his midsection. In terms of his abs, were so clean. Obviously, small waist, symmetrical abs. Whereas I think Josh, he has quite shallow abs. They're quite asymmetrical. And with UKDFBA, I know they're very big on sort of abs and all that sort of thing. So I think that's probably where you like massively pulled ahead of.
I also think as well.
That's the reason why I don't compete in the UKDFBA. My abs aren't.
You would do it otherwise.
Yeah,
I probably think just because Joven is so young and quite new to it, that
it's a cool storyline.
Yeah, it's a storyline, but it's also getting an athlete on the UKDFBA team. Yeah. Like Josh Ortiz is well known. He's known that he competes in the PCA, like he competes in other feds. Like Joven, he did the WNBF, but if the UKDFBA can sort of get him on their side early doors, which is shit, it's how it is. Like by giving him that win, it's like who wouldn't want him on your team when he's got that much potential?
Yeah,
I think he's destined for more, though. To be honest, like. I think.
Yeah, I've seen that he's put like he's going to aim to natural and win everything, and it's like I look at him and just think, mate, you could legitimately be like the best men's physique guy in the world. You know,
I think considering he's 22, I think he could become a pro naturally.
Yeah, easily. Like, he's not far off now.
I think he's that good.
He is good.
Are you already a pro? Can we please like not talk about
pro, mate.
WNBF pro? Like the WNBF pro.
What are you laughing at? We had Josh Coggan on last week,
mate. Yeah, I thought you liked Josh. I thought you and Josh were friends.
Yeah, you don't want to be there.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And also, I wanted to ask as well, why did you only do? If I'm not mistaken, you did UKDFBA, didn't you? You didn't do WNBF, BNBF. Was it just because you were aiming for the
BNBF? Don't do physique.
BNBF don't do physique because when don't do the little bikini board short division. Have you seen the BNBF when they advertise the shows? They say no men's physique, no bikini, like it's a
bad thing.
It's a selling point of the show.
No, that's the reason why you don't have to see lads in shorts. Mate, you could put the muscle wear, the
it's so popular. Whatever, weird. Anyway, so in terms of like not doing the other shows, so I know my body is quite responsive in a bad way to stress, in terms of like any sort of thing which is deviating from the normal routine, like traveling or the stress of doing shows. Like if I was to do the WNBF show, I'd obviously put a lot of pressure on myself to win it, and whether I won it or not, it's a big stress on the day. And then I know like I've got a few days to recover before traveling back to the Midlands to do the next show. So there's a risk of my physique just not playing ball for that second show, and me potentially looking a bit, I don't know, watery, because my body does tend to like hold on to water quite easily. So I just wanted to prioritize like the one show. I think if it was 2 weeks between the shows, I maybe would have done it. But the consecutive peaks, I didn't want to risk it for finals. Maybe in the future when I do it, I'll do consecutive peaks, maybe at like a trial show. But because the UKDFBA for me, that show was the main one. I didn't want to risk.
Is the real reason that AJ just didn't let you? You have to do the UKDFBA.
No. Like,
no.
I know what you say.
AJ pinned you down. He's like, "Don't you dare! You got to do the UKDFBA."
I know there's political issues between the
AJ's sound, he let anyone do whatever show they want.
Oh yeah, he says like I'll support you in whatever you do, but honestly speaking, I thought like I'm potentially not going to be at my best for this second show if I do the first one.
I think that's a good mindset to have.
Yeah,
just because I know just do as many as they can.
Yeah,
and some people can. Some people like just deal with show days and like it's nothing, like it's a breeze. Like Josh is an example. Josh Croggan.
Yeah.
He honestly like the complete opposite me. He's so chilled, so relaxed on show days. I remember like.
So that Wagamama's, mate. It says secret.
I remember I went to a PCA show of his once that he did a few years ago, and he won his class, and then we all went to Nando's before the overall, and he was having like a double chicken pitta with like fries and veg before the overall. I didn't even get.
Yeah,
that is good.
That sums up Josh.
Yeah, that is good though, because the thing is, it's not going to make a massive difference. The reason that it would is because you stress about it. If you're so chilled, like if you think about it, when you finish competing, like you go out for a meal, like for example, when we went out for pizza after your show, Reece, like I guarantee your midsection was really tight still after that pizza. I bet you look mint, but if you had that pizza the night before, you'd have been stressing, thinking, "Shit, am I going to spill?" And that's what makes you.
No. Like you're thinking, is it sitting on me? I hope it doesn't bloat me out. You know what I mean? And then that's going to add in more stress, and that's going to probably make the food not sit with you. So yeah, I think Josh's relaxed attitude is very, very key. That's something that we took from the podcast, and we both said like it's quite nice to hear someone who's very good at what he does, but he's so chilled in so many situations.
I wish I could be like that, and it's something that I have improved on over the last few years. I remember my first prep, I was extremely panicky, got anxiety like quite regularly. I even struggled to breathe at times. Like I was like just overthinking everything.
On show day or what? Like in the build-up?
No. So even just the sort of weeks leading up to the
competing,
the pressure I was putting on myself. Like if one thing in my day went slightly, if like a meal was out by half an hour, I'd panic because I'd be like, "Oh, this missed time meal is gonna ruin everything." And the effect that meal would have is a lot less than the effect that me panicking and me worrying about it is going to have. And it's something that I have improved on throughout this prep, but it's still not to the level of like some people who can just deal with prep like it's normal. Yeah.
And conversations with, let's say, AJ going through the process multiple times. But then also I think like what we said is it's good to actually have that level of care because it means that you probably won't slip in certain situations. Not to say Josh would slip, and Josh is probably a bit of a freak, but like I think it's sometimes quite good to be in that kind of not all or nothing sort of camp, because there'll be times where you have flexibility and so on and so forth. We all have to be human. But when you can switch it on and be in that kind of I need to eat a meal at this time, I would prefer.
I think you need that, but you need to control the anxiety that can come from that. Like I'd much rather have a client who is like that, who's like, right, I need to eat at these times, I need to train at these times, to sleep at these times. But if that doesn't go to plan for whatever reason, like you say half an hour out on a meal because of whatever, had to stay longer at work. Like if you can control the anxiety from that, then that's the mindset you should have, because you'll have people who go into a prep who go, oh, fuck it doesn't matter. I'll just pair 2 meals together, or I'll just pair 3 meals together tonight. And then they're having 140 grams of protein in one meal and wondering why they're shitting themselves in the night. Like, so you need to have that to an extent, but you just need to be able to manage it.
I shut the bed away.
This is something that me and Miles were speaking about the other day.
What, shit in the bed?
No, about how like almost you need to think less. Like in bodybuilding, you can't be overthinking everything. You need to actually be able to sort of switch off and just do and just be pretty chilled out about it. And Miles was saying that's something that he struggles to do. And I was like, something that I struggled to do when I wasn't as busy with work. And you'll probably find it the same, Reece. Like, because our workload is like very high now, like we don't have time to overthink our own training, our own nutrition. We just have to nail it, because otherwise we've got no other option. You know what I mean? It's like we have to make sure we're in that routine. Don't overthink it. When we're in the gym, it's nice because that's our only time where we're not working. And, it's enjoyable to just get after it. But I think maybe 2-3 years ago, when our only focus, and I've had this with other clients as well, their only focus in the day is the gym. It's the only thing they've got. and their meals, and they obsess over it so much that it actually becomes a negative, and then they're putting so much pressure on everything being perfect and having to have the best sessions ever, to the point where they just stress themselves out and it actually becomes a negative. So I think being busy and having like a busy workload is actually really beneficial in bodybuilding. I know a lot of people say you need to be able to, like, you know,
I think it can go both ways at times, because like I've recently where, like, for example, when you said Finn, I think I do agree completely, but I've also like gone into the gym before, and it's like not a lot, but let's say I've had a really busy day of like woke up, check-ins, startups, etc., got into the gym, and I'm like still struggling to, like, I'll do a set, and that first few sets I'm like thinking about something else, and I'm like, Reece, fucking find it.
You have to manage that.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like, mate, I remember when I was at uni, I'd wake up and the first thing I'd be thinking of is, oh, fuck yeah, I'm deadlifting today, or I'm hack squatting. And I would legitimately go into the gym because all I go into is do a lecture that I didn't really give too much of a crap about. I'd then go and eat a meal. I'd go back, eat another meal, go and train. And all I thought about when I was in uni, I'd be like, right, an hour and a half till I'm done. And then I'm going to be eating a meal, my pre-workout, and then I'm deadlifting. Then I'll be walking back and I'll be thinking, I wonder if I'm going to pull this amount of weight. And I've gone into the gym.
Was that always beneficial, or was it?
No, I don't think it was. No, I don't think it was. Because it would come to the time of the gym, and it'd be like, all I've thought about is training, and this has to go perfectly well.
I think we used to put so much pressure on our training, like a lot more than we do now. But our training is so much better now than it was back then.
Yeah.
But I think you almost have to go through that phase where you put a lot of pressure on yourself. So I'll have clients who are like, mate, I'm so anxious going into the hack, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that anymore, because you can almost channel it into like confidence and composure. But I think you have to go through that at some point, otherwise you're never really training that well. What do you think? What do you think, Qais?
No, I agree. As I said, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because with me, obviously, I work like I say 9 to 5, but sometimes the hours are a bit different. And the nature of that work it can be unpredictable. So that can throw off like meal times and when I train and all that sort of thing. So yeah, when that happens, it does become a bit, especially during a prep, a bit like drives up your anxiety a little bit.
Yeah, I bet Joven doesn't do any of this, mate. Joven doesn't have any anxiety or anything.
No. But at the same time, when you do sort of have that structure of work and you have that to focus on at the time, like I'm not thinking about like doing a hack when I'm at work, because I actually have to like.
Hence physique, bro. Come on.
Thinking about lateral raises.
Cuff lateral, then. Let's say cuff lateral.
There we go.
Visualizing that all day.
Gonna get such a good connection. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about it. You're literally in work.
Right, I'm gonna send you another link, Qais, because it runs out of time. So I'll let me end it.
Cool.
Right, so we just sort of mentioned it there, but to be fair, this is from my knowledge anyway. What do you actually do for work, Qais? Because I know you kind of mentioned it there, but not properly.
Yeah. So I am a process engineer at a fiberglass manufacturer. So like the insulation. So I'm a process engineer on the plant. So we sort of like help support the like production, the operators with any sort of issues, like help solve any problems with the plant, look to like implement improvement projects, whether that be new products developed or new technology or different ways of improving the process, like whether that be saving energy or stuff like that. So it's a bit sort of like it's that engineering. So it's how science is applied in the real world in industry. So it's a kind of a mixture of a few things, really. So not very bodybuilding oriented, to be honest.
Yeah, I find stuff like that cool, because I feel like I'm very like, me and Finn are very much the same. We're quite like narrow sighted. Obviously, we both had degrees in like let's say sport, and we've always done what we've done when it comes to sport. And I always find like learning and doing something new is wicked. And I always think there's a lot in there in the world other than just going to the gym, coaching. And
you don't realize it when you're in it, though, do you? When
you say something like that, I'm like, that sounds like it sounds interesting, because I know absolutely nothing, and I find anything that I know nothing of, I'm like, it sounds quite cool. I wonder what it would be like to kind of get involved in. So yeah, it's quite cool.
Like you said, mate, it's not very orientated towards bodybuilding goals. Like, how do you? Because obviously, this will be really helpful to people, because one thing that pisses me off is when like people are like, oh yeah, but it's easy for you because you work from home and stuff. It's like, yeah, I created this. Like I've made this lifestyle. like I've done that, so I can do that. But me and Reece have had jobs in the past, like I used to work plenty of jobs where I couldn't just make a meal when I wanted and stuff. So how do you manage all that?
This is honestly, it's a pet peeve of mine when I hear people say that who who are in a similar situation to me or do a 9 to 5, saying, "Oh, I don't have the time to even go to the gym." You do have the time. You just choose to do other things. And I'm not saying it's not like one's easier or harder than the other in terms of like doing a 9 to 5 or doing online coaching. It's just different. It's just a case of like the main thing it's time management and prioritizing. Making time for your priorities. Obviously, other than work, which is my sort of number one priority in the day, the sort of bodybuilding training is the other thing, which is the biggest priority for me. So I just allocate the time for that. So I know I'm at work between 8 and typically 4:30, maybe sometimes 5. So then I know it takes me X amount of time to get to the gym. I know I'm going to be training for this long. Obviously, if I'm in a prep, I'll be posing pretty much every day. I know I'm going to be doing that for that amount of time. I know the travel home is going to take this long. And then, and just in terms of like eating, meal preps, it's literally just, exactly what time you're going to be doing what thing. And then just making sure you kind of stick to that. The amount of people I see complaining about not having enough time and they spend 2 hours scrolling on TikTok every evening. There's your problem. There's your problem. Like it's quite simple. It's just making time for it. And then just to avoid sort of mental burnout, then I always try and get at least like half an hour of like just some downtime during the night. Because I have been in a state before when I had to travel a bit further, literally just doing nothing other than like things I had to do every day, and I had no downtime, and it kind of like burned me out a little bit. So those are the main things really. It's just time management and actually reviewing what you do in a day and thinking like, is this actually productive? Could I be
mature, that mate? Like, that's a mature sort of thing. I don't hear many people say that. A lot of people, it's always like excuses and why they can't do it. And in reality, I always say to clients, like, send me through your screen time on your phone and show me what you're on TikTok or Instagram. It's like, it's ridiculous. You realize, like, and it's like, I'll say I'm busy, but then I'll look and say, oh, well, I put limits on my phone for applications. And like, I literally have 45 minutes on Instagram. And if I hit that, like, I'll usually hit it by the end of the day. And bearing in mind, I work on Instagram, so I'm always putting stories up. But if I hit 45 minutes and it's like 4 p.m, I'm like, Reece, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're slacking. Like, you just been on your phone too much. And like, I prioritize like things like that. Like social media nowadays, it's so easy just to scroll. It's like endorphins. It's, you look at it and it's something new. And it's cool. Like there's times where like it's quite nice to chill out and maybe just go on your phone for 10-15 minutes. But if you're on your phone for an hour or two and then you're not getting your stuff ticked off and you can say I don't have time, it's like, you really? Like, you saying
I have like a routine sheet in my Google Sheets, and it basically splits the entire week, every hour that you've got. And like, I'll say to people, look, fill it in. Show me what your routine's like. And more often than not, they don't fill it in. And they're moaning that they've not got time. And I'll say, if you've not even showed me what your routine looks like, I can guarantee that it's all over the place. And then the people that do fill it in, you can see when they're sleeping, when they're training, when they're working. And then you've got other sections. You go, right, here, this is where you can do this. This is where you can socialize. This is where you can make your food. Like, there's a lot of time. Like, it doesn't feel like it when you're busy, but there is plenty of time in the day. Like you say, it's just cutting out the unnecessary wasted time on scrolling, things like that.
Yeah. And another thing which I haven't thought about is like multitasking as well. For example, say when you put something in the oven to cook, then in the time it's taking to cook, you're doing X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, I do stretches. I make my first meal. I make my first, second, and third meal, and I stretch in the mornings while it's literally like while it's getting sorted. I'm like, right, I've got 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then literally I do that, and then while like after that, when I'm like getting my food prepared and I'm still waiting for a few things, that's when I write my Instagram post. And it's the exact same thing. Like, I literally multitask.
When you have the routine of it, it's kind of like it becomes second nature, and then it just becomes seamless. Yeah. Even I know exactly when I'm going to go shopping for food because I know exactly how much I buy. I know exactly when it's going to run out. And then I know, okay, this time I'm going to have a bit more time to go to the supermarket and get what I need to get. Yeah. This is another thing which is like helps with more people who don't have as much time to be cooking. I say cook, especially if it's stuff like chicken and rice, cook it in bulk.
Yeah.
Like, cook like 3 days worth at a time of chicken and rice. It should be all right for that length of time, and then you can just portion it out every evening.
No wonder you were having digestive issues when you peaked, bro.
Eating 7-day-old chicken. I don't know what's up with me. It's fine.
No, but yeah, so it's just a case of cooking that all at once. So you just have the one time in which you're cooking it, and then every evening, what I do is portion out all my food for the day, and I know exactly how long that's going to take, and it's just
eat all in one go and be like, AJ, I've ate all my carbs. One sitting. What should I do? And he's like, you just got to survive, bro. Catch you tomorrow.
Right? Should we get through questions? Have you got some questions? You even put one on, didn't you, Qais?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Right, should we take in turns? I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is from Macca Morris. Thank you for listening, as always. Thank you for the questions, as always, Macca. Yeah, will Qais ever go assisted?
Good question. I'd say probably not, honestly speaking. My long-term goals don't really lie in bodybuilding, like, honestly speaking.
Functional. That was going.
Yeah, going down the functional route.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Was it Metcon?
Yeah, you're doing a Metcon hybrid athlete. Is that what you going
hybrid?
Yeah.
Honestly, like I saw you lot speaking about it on the other podcast. I couldn't think of anything worse, honestly speaking, than doing that.
We'll have to get someone on. We'll have to get Tim on and get him to discuss his thoughts.
When I stop bodybuilding, I'll probably just like play more five-a-side.
Yeah, we say that.
Did we say that last week?
Yeah, no, we said it the other day, but not even on the podcast.
On the podcast, yeah. We got asked in person. I know it was when we were training legs, weren't we? And Dan, one of my clients,
Dan was like, he'd been and played five-a-side.
Yeah.
And I said, I was like, honestly, I just prefer to play football. Like I play a little bit five-a-side once or twice a week, and then I go to the gym a few times and just train and cardio. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I'd probably do more like random, spontaneous, like stuff like climbing, and which I quite enjoy though. That indoor climbing, like do Ninja Warrior and skiing, indoor skiing.
Right. We should do that when we're not as fat, Reece.
Mate,
I was a shambles last time.
I was awful. I didn't realise how fat I was until Finn said it.
Rapid, mate. But even then I was really fat. Imagine me now. I'd just keep running up the wall. I'd been able to go in circles. Right, so
yeah,
Qais is staying natty. Good on you, Qais.
Yeah,
on the team.
No, honestly speaking, like I was just saying, I don't think I'm gonna want to take it that far with bodybuilding. Like I'd love to see how far I could go sort of on the natural scene. Like the next time I do compete, like obviously I want to win a British title again, hopefully maybe even compete for an overall. And then my plan is, if I do that, to like compete at an international level and just see how well I do there. The only reason I would go assisted would be to be like a really good IFBB pro. I think I could maybe turn pro, but I don't think I'd be like Olympia level. And I'm like, for me, it's not really worth it. As like my long-term career isn't to be like a top men's physique athlete, it's to progress further in my career, to be honest. And then there's a side of like fertility. Obviously in the future I do want kids more than I want to do well in bodybuilding, to be honest. So like it's definitely just definitely not worth it for me, to be honest. And I absolutely hate needles, even like vaccines and stuff like that.
Even like that, those tested.
It's funny how many natties hate needles is crazy. Like the amount of people that like I hear say that one of the main reasons I hate needles. It's like
I genuinely do that. I remember when I was about 12, I had I was going to, I can't remember, some country, and I had a vaccine, and I was walking across the street afterwards, and it just hit me that I'd had an injection, and I fainted in the middle of a street. It was like a main road as well.
Loads of people, like so many people, aren't good with needles or vaccines or getting their bloods done. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Strange. Right. Next one. Who's going next?
I'll go. So we've got asked by Joe Simpson, Doc Fitness. I'm guessing this is like a question for the table. Best perform protein powder flavor. You've been using isolates, haven't you? I saw
can't say.
I've actually just got Perform, and I've had probably the best one I've had recently.
Which one? Which is?
Yeah, caramel biscuit.
Yeah, I've had that. I think it's quite good.
Very good.
Yeah, very nice. I will say it's one of those. I feel like I can't remember who I saw it on, but I do think the vast majority of performs they start off really good, and you get to about halfway down the tub, and they just get a bit like more sickly, and you're a bit like, nah, it's getting a bit more hard to finish this. But yeah, the caramel biscuit one's good. Finn's obviously not a fan of Perform. He's never used
impartial. No, I'll give my 2 cents. Lemon cheesecake when I was on prep, and that with dark chocolate as my final meal, just as a sludge with dark chocolate in, incredible, right? And I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to chew the dark chocolate in my mouth. I used to spit it then into the whey, and then I would mix it all together so that it was all crumbled up in it. Now I could have cut it up and that, but it'd have been a ball ache. So chewed it up, put it in there, bang. Oh mate, incredible. I ain't got the time to cut dark chocolate with a knife.
You just do it with your hand.
Nah, mate, I wanted it in like tiny little bits.
Oh.
So that was banging. Other flavors, I do like the white chocolate and raspberry. But I will, in all seriousness, the CMP rainbow cookie, I think is probably better than them.
I think it's all right.
I really like it. I prefer it to the sticky toffee one.
I don't think the CMP stuff mixes the same.
It doesn't mix quite as well as Perform.
No, it's a little bit like stickier. It's hard to explain. It's like a little bit wetter. It's where the Perform is immaculate with how well it is as a paste. Like the CMP sound is just not as good.
Yeah,
I agree. Boring, say double chocolate. Like I don't really get. No, I'm boring, man. I just don't get like I just have the same stuff. Like the brownie batter one sound, the double chocolate's just easy. There's never really a time where I'll be thinking I want something different. I want to try something different. I just have something that I can get in. And like for 90% of the year, like my appetite is like, I'm not gonna say non-existent because it's there, but I'm not like I don't enjoy food. So I just have something that's plain. And double chocolate is plain. It's not too sweet. It's not too like savory. It's just sound. It's nice. It's all right. Where I feel like the others, like that caramel biscuit, if I was like peak off season, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, no chance. Same with the lemon one. I wouldn't. No chance.
Yeah. So it's like I enjoy Perform Whey for about 4 weeks of the year, and that's when I'm bringing food back up after a diet. Or
that's where I am now.
Yeah, mate. You're in that position where like it's such an
everything's
nice. You don't appreciate it, but give it 6 months, mate, and you'll be like fucking
right. Yes, your question. Let's crack on because we've got a lot. We can't be doing 10 minutes answers.
Okay, sorry.
All right. I've got a role to play here. I'm the podcast host. I've got to keep it moving.
Okay.
Top 3 professional bodybuilders of all time.
Oh, top 3.
Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah, Ronnie. Did you see that post? There's a post earlier where he was knighting Larry Wheels as the strongest bodybuilder ever. He was knighting him with his crutches.
Really?
Yeah. Honestly, it's on. Larry Wheels probably like 5 minutes before we came on here.
Okay.
Ronnie. Should we say Jay because he was our mate? Yeah. We met Jay.
Jay's our best mate.
I wouldn't have him there.
Mate, have you met him? He's a top bloke.
Best mate. I've never met him. I'm not on that level.
He's a big fan of the pod, so we can't miss him out.
Yeah. Jay. I think Jay for like the legacy. Like
Are we talking physiques or like
everything?
Maybe all round. Yeah.
Well, Seabum's
like Arnold then.
Yeah,
Arnold all round for like legacy.
I'm an Arnold hater. I'm just
what?
Is that why you didn't get a photo with the Terminator at the Arnold? I was buzzing.
Yeah. No, I'm an Arnold hater. I think it's like I don't find anything he did anything that impressive, like the way he worded himself. Like I just don't find him inspirational, motivational at all. It's just like you're a dude who got into bodybuilding who looked good relative to where you were at the time. Sound.
and he was in a lot of good movies.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a good
Reece is
actor.
just a hater, mate.
Oh, he's not.
No, he's
I think-
awful.
I think it's just like his one-liners were so cheesy that they were so bad that they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Batman movie that he's in? The Mr. Freeze character,
No.
Batman Forever. Oh, it's absolutely awful.
Yeah, I
But
know. That's what I mean.
it's
Try
one of them that is so bad, it's good. It's got George Clooney as Batman.
Yeah, no, I haven't watched it, but I'm glad I haven't. I've never been impressed by anything like he's done, which I don't know why. I'm just a bit of a hater. So yeah, I'm a proud Arnold hater.
Who's the other one? Honestly,
Seaman.
my favorite physique is probably Flex Wheeler. Only physique ever.
Yeah, Flex is good. Not now, obviously, unfortunately.
Oh.
It's a shame, isn't it? Like, literally, at the Arnold's, there was all three of them were there. Oh no, yeah, Money was there. All three of them were there.
Yeah,
and it's like Jay is the only one who looks like he was a bodybuilder. Yeah, like
Flex Wheeler had his clothes sense, like his drip was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
He looked like an absolute state. Bless him. I don't know what he was wearing. He looked like he was about to go ride a horse. We said he looked like he was about to ride some horses. So yeah, I'm not only an Arnold.
that doesn't take away from how good he was as a bodybuilder, mate.
Yeah, no, but
he fails the drip.
Yeah,
He can't do it.
No.
He's the best bodybuilder in the world.
Falling off, mate. He's fucking falling off.
Right, next question.
We're going Jay, Ronnie. No, mate, who's the third? Going Flex Wheeler.
Flex, yeah, we'll just have those three. I feel like they've got a bit of like a good legacy, them three, haven't they? And they're all at the Arnold's. We saw them all, and they all listen to the podcast. So shout out to you guys. This is from Elio31. I think it's your client, Reece.
He's asked me a question as well. Yeah.
Thoughts on skipping a rest day from time to time if feeling recovered?
No, Elliot is. I said to him, he's a guy who always wants to do more. Like I think he's one of those sort of guys. Like you know when you first start out. Like he's not starting out training, but you know when you just want to like think I could do more, I could push more, I could do an extra set, I could do this, I could eat more food, and like I think that mindset is really really good, but you have to harness it well. And like a rest day, if it comes down to a rest day, and I was like I feel really really good, I'd probably assess why I feel really good, because it should, if anything, if you're in, I think in a prep it's different because you're going to be like trashed regardless, like systemically from the diet. But in a gaining phase, your sessions should be pretty demanding to the point where it comes around to a rest day and you're like, Christ, God.
Yeah, but we used to train every day back in the day.
Yeah, because
like when you get into it,
and quality. Yeah, the quality.
Your total loading capacity is nowhere near what it will be in the future and stuff. But
yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't recommend it.
I've made this mistake before. I've done say like a 3 on 1 off, 2 on 1 off split, and then on the second of those 2 before the 1 off, I've felt really good after that. I'm like, I'm fine. I can train the next session, the next day. And what I did is I did this a couple of times, and I was like, I'm recovering from this fine, and then it just hits you. It might not even be the first time. It might not even be the first time you do it where you feel it. But if you keep having that mindset and you keep doing that, it will accumulate that fatigue and it'll hit you. And then eventually it's just going to set you back further than you would have.
Deloading every other week.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, though, like you said, it won't hit you one time. It will be more so the inconsistencies long time. So let's say if you're doing a 3 on 1 off, 2 on 1 off sort of approach, you have a rest day, you then go back into that push session a day early in comparison to what you maybe done from an upper session. On a one-off basis, having 1 day or 2 days in between is sound. Like it's fine, you'll get away with it. Then when your performance starts to be worked up, and usually you're accustomed to maybe 3 full days, and it goes to 2 or 2 to 1, Christ, it's hard. And you'll go into the gym and you'll go, oh shit, I feel really bad. But then you'll just carry on. And then it's like that line of training rotation is probably going to be slightly impaired and it's not going to be as good as possible. So that's why I always think like if it's a training day, you train. If it's a rest day, you rest. Like as simple as it sounds.
I always say to people as well, like over time, the higher that your level of training becomes, the more that those variables, if you change things, the more heightened they become. So like when you first start training, you miss a meal. Does it really matter? No, because your training's not at a high level yet. You get 6 hours sleep versus 8. Does it really impact your training? Not really, because your training's not at that higher level. When you start training at a higher level and every single session, it's like, right, it's actually really difficult to keep progressing. Those things like missing a rest day or obviously, bringing it one day back, or missing a meal, or being slightly under on your protein, or drinking alcohol, like all those small things that are not going to be, let's say, conducive towards the goal, when you first start off, don't really make a difference. But as you get into a higher level, for example, if we all got pissed tonight, our session tomorrow would be horrendous. But when we first start training, we'd be like, oh, fuck it, we'll just go and train tomorrow, and it's just going to the gym.
Do you not think that's a little bit mental as well? A little bit.
Oh, yeah. I actually had this conversation with Sanaa yesterday.
When you didn't have the knowledge when you were younger, let's
Yeah.
say you go out at uni, and you're literally back in the gym at like 10 a.m. the next day after getting like 2 hours sleep. Absolutely fine. Well, I know obviously part of it is that the level of training isn't the same, but mentally, like, I didn't know anything about recovery or anything like that, so you just felt absolutely fine. Whereas now,
going away for a weekend. Sorry, carry on. I thought I interrupted you.
All I was going to say is now, if I go to bed at like midnight for whatever reason, I remember, after the show, I didn't get home till like 2 a.m. And I just felt
off-season ruined. Gain face ruined. That's it.
I just felt absolutely trashed the next day. Like I was just completely knackered. And I remember when I was at uni, and I'd be fine to train in my head the next day. But yeah, I think it is a combination of both mentally and it is physical as well, obviously.
Yeah. I had a weekend that I was away. I was like 18, and I literally had a weekend of like drinking. I was at someone's house for like a birthday, and it was like a weekend like party, and I drank every day, every night, and I lived off. I brought a pack of 12 my protein cookies. I had 4 Friday, 4 Saturday, 4 Sunday, and it was like 80 grams of protein, like 20 carb each. So it was like 20 protein, 20 carb, 5 fat, and that's literally I had 4 of them every day. Loads of alcohol, no sleep. I don't think I drank any water. I can't remember like drinking any water at all. And I got into the gym Monday and I was like, I feel wicked, feel really good. I had a wicked pump. And like nowadays, like I said this to Sanaa like yesterday when I want to walk, like she went out the other night and I said I'd literally be like, you get to 1 a.m. and I'd be like, I'm already losing sleep. Yeah. Why am I doing this? Why am I drinking? Like, what am I doing? Like I'd struggle I wouldn't even enjoy myself, because even if I was slightly drunk, I'd have it in the back of my mind where I'm like, the fuck are you doing? You
think that's healthy though? You think that's healthy? Everything like that?
Yeah. And like that's literally like every time I've drank, like the last time I went out was before COVID, like proper out. And I still even then had the same sort of thoughts where I was like, you're gonna be in the gym like tomorrow, bro, or the day after, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like
I think as well, like anybody who is at an elite level or top level, like you have to sacrifice things. Like you can't be going out and getting drunk. And if you do, it has to be very, very rare. Like I feel like nowadays, we've said it before, Reece, like that 2022 mindset. It's like, oh, everything's all right. Don't worry. You can do whatever you want and you can make progress and everything will be fine. But also you got to be like realistic and think, if you're all going out and getting pissed all the time and missing meals and slacking in the gym, do you really think you're going to make progress? Yeah. Like, it's almost like you can't say that anymore. You got to be nice and you got to be like, oh yeah, it's not healthy if you don't have that balance. It's like, well, also I want to do well. Yeah. I feel like nowadays it's promoted more to have balance, which is fine if that's what you want. But then don't be complaining that you're not making as much progress as the guy or girl who doesn't have that same balance because they don't want it, because they have more desire towards their goals.
Yeah. That word is a pet peeve of mine, because when people say balance, automatically everyone thinks, oh, eating pizzas and takeaway, doing whatever. Like everyone's definition of balance is.
Yes. You said you've got to be done at 7:30 because you've got fucking Domino's coming. What the fuck, bro?
Yeah.
Like, it's 20 minutes to Domino's comes.
No, that's true, because
of rice with the perform way, the pace, like the caramel biscuit way.
That's true though, because you see posts on Instagram all the time.
Oh, there he is.
Posts on Instagram about balance, and like you say, the balance is always people going out and drinking. It's never like, realistically, maybe for me, it would be like spending some time with my family or watching the football, like, because that's what I would want to do. But for like other people, it has to be a case of going out and getting smashed.
Is he freezing?
Yeah, I don't know. Is it? I don't think is it.
Yeah,
I think it's Finn.
Yeah.
Finn's done. Yeah.
Am I back?
There you are.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll have to find out. Someone tell us. I feel like because I'm the one recording, that it'll be all right because I was speaking.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I was like, is it my internet? And like,
it was great,
Chris was just looking, yeah, we were both a bit like, what's happening here?
Well, it doesn't matter. I've covered it anyway. Right. Yeah. Next question.
I've got, mate,
yeah,
Elio, me. Yeah. Listening to the past podcast, I'm curious as to why you urinate so much when deep in prep. Just want to know why I just go to the toilet. So, Qais, have you been going to the toilet a lot, mate? Like, you've been urinating a lot? Yeah.
I'd say on average, probably through 4 times a night, I'd say, towards the end.
Yeah. Mine was, I think my record was 5. That was one night. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the fuck, 5 times? Finn, you didn't really struggle. Like, you said you didn't really go to the toilet.
Didn't get
like,
lean, did I?
I didn't get lean. Secretly having like 400 grams of carbs pre-bed. You're like, I'm just soaking up all this.
What's
water.
going on? No,
there is a scientific reason. I think it's like your fat cells.
Yeah,
obviously, when they can absorb
yeah.
more water, but obviously when
carbohydrates hold water, and then fats are also like body fat is going to also be something water.
Less
so your ability
to
hold water. Yeah, it's literally going to be like your ability as your body as a sponge is going to get worse as body fat levels. And
I also think though a lot of people don't manage it that well. Like I would make sure that I didn't really drink in the last 2 or 3 hours because I made sure that I was well hydrated through the day. We'd finish training at about 6, 7 p.m. and I'd be very hydrated through the session. So I didn't really drink much afterwards because I didn't feel the need. My urine was clear. I'd probably have 2 or 3 wheeze before I'd go to bed, and then I'd only have 1 or 2. So like realistically for me, 1 or 2 in the night, like I never thought of that as an issue. I know some people will be like, oh, I'm getting up a couple of times still, but you're gonna get up once or twice when you are lean. Like now, like I haven't got up for a piss in the night in however long. But again, that's because I make sure that I don't drink a lot.
I haven't gone all night about not going to the toilet since prep. Like I always have to go to the toilet now.
How much do you drink at the end of the day?
Not a lot, mate. Like I will have this done. This will be the last bit of water that I consume. So I bet they're there, and it's 9:12, and then I'll have a tiny bit with my support max neuro, just to kind of conclude the day. But I always before prep, I actually managed. I think it just messed my bladder up a little bit. Where like I'm constantly when I go to the toilet, I always have to. I wake up in the night, and I have to go to the toilet. So yeah, part of it.
Even peak off season, I'll always go at least once.
Yeah.
I've just got, well, even from a young age, I've just got a notoriously weak bladder. So I've just learned to accept it at this point.
Yeah. All right, next question. Qais, have you got one?
Yeah. Interesting one. Top 4 predictions.
I've got World Cup predictions as well.
Top 6 predictions.
I got World Cup predictions. Right.
Okay. Top 4. So we'll do a quick football round. Top 4. City. I think we're going to agree on
City.
Arsenal,
yeah.
United, Liverpool.
I'm saying it.
Yeah, I think Liverpool.
I'm going to say City, Arsenal, United, Chelsea.
Chelsea are pretty good under Potter now.
Chelsea are pretty good, mate. Their top goal scorer's got 3 goals.
Yeah, but they're a decent team. I feel like
their top has 3 assists.
Yeah, but mate, you haven't got a leg to stand on with Liverpool. Come on,
mate. In the last 4 games, we've beat West Ham, Ajax, and Man City. We played the worst team ever against Notts Forest. Liverpool.
I do think Liverpool will get top 4 because I just think Klopp's that good. I think United will get it because we actually look decent, which is quite nice because in recent years we haven't. But it wouldn't surprise me if we don't. And it wouldn't even surprise me if Arsenal don't, and even though they've been that good.
Okay, World Cup predictions. What are we going to say? Where do England finish? Finals winner. That's what we'll go with. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think England will get to
quarterfinal.
I think we'll get to the semis and get beat by someone half decent. I don't know the run. I'd have to have a look at the run.
I think they'll come against someone like maybe France or something in the quarters. Or
I reckon even if we come up against anyone half decent, we usually get beat.
Yeah. What are we saying? Finals.
Yeah, finals. So again, I don't know how falls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Brazil.
Brazil, Argentina.
Oh,
And I think Argentina win.
I'm going Brazil. I've said Brazil are gonna win for like the last year.
Right. I'll say France just to be different then.
Nah, no chance.
Yeah, I'm only saying that.
Mbappe, Benz, like them two, I feel like they could beat anybody. They're on it, you know.
Yeah,
Brazil, like as much as they've got a good side, they haven't been up there for years.
I don't know. I just the squad's just full of kind of. I think they're going to fall out again. They always tend to do that right before an international tournament. And I think it's Messi's year. He seems to be on it for PSG.
For PSG, yeah.
Reece, what was the other one? Did you get top 6 in the championship?
I don't even know who.
I'm gonna get the league. I know it's like Blackburn, Sheffield United. I know they're quite doing well. QPR are doing well. I'm getting the table up now.
I'm such like an ignorant. Like,
so we've got at the minute top 6 at the minute: Burnley, QPR, Blackburn, Swansea, Sheffield United, Millwall.
Okay, I'm gonna go Burnley, QPR, Swansea.
Right, let's say just who do you think is going to win? Let's say who's going to win the championship.
Burnley.
Right? Burnley. Yeah. Burnley.
I'm going to say, just to be different, I'm going to say Blackburn.
Finn, you are very much like you're built different. Like every time there's a question,
I am built different. Actually, I'll tell you what, I'll say Blackburn because Leo Wood supports them. Shout out Leo. Or I could say Sheffield United because Will Razzo supports them.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any Burnley fans on my team. Let me know if you are a Burnley fan.
Yeah.
Do a quick Champions League one. Winner.
Yeah, go on then. Liverpool. Fucking hell.
PSG.
No.
PSG. I'm going to say City. I think City have got to win it at some point, haven't they?
You can't win the Champions League with 3 players that don't track back and defend.
Yeah, I don't think PSG can win it.
Yeah. One-off games, maybe, but like I think against like an elite club, City would just like I couldn't see them beating City, like current City.
Right, guys, we got 5 minutes. Should we get through a couple more questions?
Yes. See you later. Cool. Kes, is it your one? Or is it Finn's?
I just did that one.
All right, I'll go. So I'm gonna try and pick some good ones instead of just going through in order. So this is from Sam.phx. I think this might be your client, Reece.
Yes, he is. Sam Phillips Harvey. Advice
on establishing solid day-to-day routine for a uni student who cares a lot about training. We kind of spoke about this earlier. Like it's no different to work. Like how Qais sets his day up, how me and Reece set our day up. Like it's relatively similar. But I can speak from experience. When I was at uni, obviously, I'll be honest, I didn't really care that much about my degree. Like once I'd gone to uni, I was like, right, I'm going to get my degree now. I'm not going to quit. But in terms of like prioritizing training, if I had lectures that I had to go to, I'd simply make sure that I'd prepared my meals. Me and Reece were speaking about this to one of Reece's clients the other day, like just eat your meals in your lecture. If they don't like it, then go outside for 5 minutes and have your meal, or make it into a smoothie so you can drink it. They're not going to tell you can't have a drink in a lecture. Like, you know, there's ways that you can work around getting your meals in while you're there. Train when works for you. If you have to move it around a little bit, then just move your meals around a little bit. Yeah, it's unlikely that you're going to be at uni from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. every day. Yeah, you probably have 2 or 3 lectures maybe that you have to go to. Usually they're an hour or 2 hours. Like when I was there, I don't think there was any day across the week that I was in all day. And even if I was, I'd have like a 2 or 3 hour gap somewhere where you find the time to train. And then outside of that, like again, what we just spoke about earlier, you got to weigh up what do you actually want to do? Do you care that much about your training and your goals, or do you care more about going out and drinking, or do you want to find that balance between the two? Like when I went to uni, I think I went out in total like 2 or 3 times. Like I literally didn't go to uni for that. I lived on my own. I didn't live at uni halls. So because I had not even bodybuilding goals at that time, but just more so like life goals that I wanted to be somebody who doesn't just go and get pissed at uni for 3 years.
Yeah. I think that's well there, to be fair, with what we said earlier. Qais, anything to input for young Sam?
I would say, well, I went to uni, so I can speak for a similar way to Finn. But yeah, basically, I'd say the main thing is just make sure your time is valuable to you, in that don't just do things because they're the social norm and everyone else is doing them at uni. Like, for example, going out, or even just like the amount of people I saw at uni just like lounging around for hours doing like socializing at, I don't know, Costa or whatever. If you enjoy it, then that's fine. But if you're really into gym, then I'm sure you don't.
I was always seen as really weird.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really make friends at uni because I was always doing stuff. Like, and they all used to be like, what the like? They'd ask like, because I was never struggling. They were always like, oh, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling money wise. Like I was working all the time, so they'd be like, oh, how are you not struggling like with debt? Like, because I'm fucking working. I'm not spending all my money on alcohol. Like, but then that's frowned upon them. Like that's not the societal norm. But then you've got to have a backbone. You've got to be a strong enough character to do that, and not just follow what everyone else is doing.
Exactly. It doesn't mean just cutting everyone off and not going out ever. If you want to go out every now and then, do it. But just do what you want to do and prioritize your time the way you want to, and not just to fit in with
what you want.
other
Do
people.
what you want to do. Yeah, that's what I think you should do. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
I got asked. To be fair, we could end it on this, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we wrap it up? We've got a minute.
Yeah, Musa, what advice would you give young Qais before he got into MP? So, what would you give young yourself? Give us. This is the outro. This is gonna be the outro, mate. So, end us on a good one. What advice?
I would say the main thing is try not to. It's the mental thing more than anything. Especially going into a prep. Try not to micro-analyze every little detail of the day, and thinking that anything deviating from the initial plan is going to make a massive impact into the future. Just like sort of have faith in like you sort of being consistent on a day-to-day basis is going to sort of eventually sort of help you achieve your goal, and you'll just be a lot happier throughout the process of prep as well. Other than that, just be accurate and intense with your training. And prioritize them rather than looking at what the next person does. So I'd say that's the main thing as well, is it's your journey. You know what works for you. Don't look too much at what other people are doing. Obviously, things can help, but mostly it's noise. So just focus on like your journey, what's working for you.
Right, guys.
Right, guys, we're lying. We're actually continuing. Yeah, he kept talking. And me and Finn were like,
we need to just accept that it's going to be, we're going to end up having to do this third part, even though no one knows because it doesn't matter for them. Anyway, right. We've got a couple more quick fire questions for Qais before he goes. So this is from Jacob A. Huxley, another one of Reece's clients. Mate, why don't they ask you the questions?
I'm carrying this podcast, fucking hell.
Yeah, obviously.
All my clients.
Will Qais be sticking with MP?
Yes.
Yes.
We toyed with the idea of doing classic, but at about 8 weeks out, my legs were just too fat. Too fat.
What would be your favorite classic pose? One of them?
The, either that one with the vacuum or that one with the vacuum.
Yeah, the standard good ones, the quality, the easy.
None of this crap.
What about this one?
Yeah.
Look at my vascular forearm. I look like I'm going to die.
But obviously my hamstrings and glutes just aren't developed enough, and then lower body condition just wasn't there. So I just feel like I'm way more suited for physique, to be honest.
That answers the next question, which was from Josh Croggan, who said, "When will we see a classic Qais?" And then he also asked, "Did Reece call Qais Chris?"
Chris,
no.
No, he didn't. Thank you for the questions, though, Josh.
I got one from Josh as well, actually. What was your stage weight this year compared to last time? So 2019, I was 159 at qualifier, about 157 at the finals. This time I was 167 at the qualifier. I think 168, 167 at the qualifier. And I was actually 162 on the day of the finals. But a big part of that was
big part of it is steroids. You gained weight?
No. In terms of like, I dropped a lot to finals. I just pulled a decent amount of water because my midsection looks better when I'm a bit drier. But yeah, it was the trend which helped me gain the body weight.
Helped you gain the muscle. Can't gain that much muscle naturally in that time.
No. 0.5 to 1 pounds per year.
Maximum.
Yeah.
Right, Reece, have you got any more for Qais?
Nah, I'm all good. I think unless I think there might have been one more.
I had one more.
Go on then.
Why aren't you competing in Budapest?
Yeah, go on then.
I got the invite, actually. But yeah, I've just got too much on with work around now, to be honest. I literally couldn't take the time off. I knew I'd have quite a few projects coming to a head at this point, so it was just a bit too much. And also, I'd put so much in to that finals mentally. I was pretty tapped out, honestly speaking. Like, that was my main goal, was to win the British title. Anything else would have been sort of like a bonus. So to be honest, like, my why for this European show just isn't really strong enough to sort of continue the prep and put myself through more sort of mental stress of the prep. And for maybe to produce a physique that probably would be worse, just because of everything that's going on with the stress, the flying, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, for me personally, I just feel like was the best decision for me right now. So
I think that's good, because most people, as soon as they get the invite, like, oh yeah, amazing, I'm going to do it. It's like, obviously for you it's different because you're very good, but they give out a lot of invites, and depends on the federation. But like, the amount of people that I see going, I think fair enough, it's a good experience, but you'd almost be better off just getting straight back into a gaining phase and making the improvements you need to make.
I seen a lad who didn't even place in the short class. He's on the plane now. He's going to Budapest.
Yeah.
I don't know how. He's called Isaac Dump, I think. I don't know if he's
men's physique guy. I think he's like quite matey with them. I know he helps out and stuff. He's done. I'm sure he's helped out with them for years. So it's probably that. Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen some of the athletes, the European athletes, competing at that show, and it's not great standard, honestly speaking. Like, Jovan is going to smoke them all.
Yeah,
honestly.
100%.
But as I said, like, for me, it just wasn't. I'm mentally not in the prep anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was best decision to do this now. Next time I compete, fingers crossed, I'll get the invite again and go in the future.
You definitely will, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Let's wrap it up. Reece, wrap it up. First of all, absolute pleasure to get Qais on. Thank you for coming on, mate.
Yeah, thank you for your time, pal. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.
Very much. Hopefully I lived up to Josh's guest appearance last time.
I think you outperformed Josh. Your expected goals were better than Josh's.
Yeah, his next year was better. Performance was better. He wasn't on the bench for as long as well.
Yeah, we got you straight.
We brought you on quick. So we clearly needed that injection of Qais. That's what it is. So yeah, again, thanks for your time, mate. And thanks to everybody who's listened. That's pretty much that. We'll just leave it there. Cool. Catch you guys next week.